to be a change. They don't have it that any one of us, to the capacity that any one of us wake up, all of us have to wake up. So it's the reason our people have not woke up is because the capacity of us awakened individual has not reached that level. Y'all see the point I'm making? If we wake all the way up, people have to wake up. They can't help it. They cannot help it. When I go to Hyde Park and I'm talking to people, it's a whole different environment with the people there, with the brothers there. Because I woke up. It's a different mentality. Because I have woke up. And as I wake up more, there'll be even more of a different mentality. Do you see the point I'm making? And as each of us wake up more, there'll be more of a mentality. Give you an example. Bob Marley. Now people think, when people think of Jamaica, they think of Bob Marley. But you can't think of Bob Marley without thinking about what he represented. So that one awakening of that one individual with his music and talent and with his message changed the entire consciousness of Jamaica. So to the capacity that he woke up, Jamaica is an entirely different place because of that one individual. I'm saying that each one of us is that one individual. They got us looking from the outside in and not looking from the inside out. Do you see what I'm making? We're thinking of when it's going to change. When black people going to wake up? When you wake up. When we're going to have a different community? When you really, truly become a different person? You can't go out and speak and tell that Arab and put him in his place if you are not standing on your square, if you don't have a black supremacist. Did you see the point I'm making? You can't tell people and put them in their place if you're not sincere in your own place. You might bite your tongue. But if you reach a certain level of consciousness, there's certain things you would not tolerate, even if you wanted to. Even if you wanted to be diplomatic, you couldn't. Because you have reached a certain level of integrity within yourself, it can't even happen. You see what I mean? You go, oh, hold on, wait a minute, what did you say again? You could, it's like something in you will check the situation. It ain't like it wasn't even you. Like I was in Inglewood. We had a piece of property over there. I always mention this story. And I was there working with some people. And we had a little temple over there. And the Europeans had came and to arrest a brother claiming that he was selling drugs that lived in the bottom. We owned the building. We just let the family stay on the first floor. And something was going on down there where they thought that people were down there was selling drugs. We don't know. As far as we're concerned, they was just selling squares. We didn't know that, had no knowledge of them selling any drugs or anything like that. So the detectives came and ran up on the property and grabbed the guy and put him in the car. And we were upstairs. Our temple was on the second floor. In spite of whatever was going on in the community, it's Inglewood, we had our own spot. And we was trying to bring the knowledge to people. So the detectives run up on our property and arrest the brother. Now one of the sisters from our temple was looking out the window. The detectives looked up at the window and said, "What you looking at, bitch?" Brother, I tell you, I must have teleported out the house and was standing in front of the detective and said, "Did you just call that sister a bitch?" I was incapable of seeing his gun, his partner,
yes, sir,
that I could end up like Mumia. I couldn't even fathom that in that moment. All I heard is this devil, this European, called this sister a bitch. I said, "Did I hear that correctly? You just called this sister a bitch?" I walked up to him before he didn't even get out the car. I was up on him. He couldn't grab his gun quick enough. I said, the knowledge itself, a solid, convicted self, is even colder than martial arts. Seriously. Because you can only access your adrenaline and the natural power that you have with integrity. Listen, y'all don't hear me. When a woman baby is trapped under a car, she can go and lift the whole damn car up to get her child. That's the strength that comes from integrity and love and passion. That's where it comes from. So that's the real strength of man. Do you see what I'm making? A lot of times I practice martial arts and I get in situations, I worked out so hard with the damn martial arts, I'm tired as hell. I'm like, man, I just been through doing all this damn martial arts, I don't feel like this shit. But I've been in cases where I have not done nothing, and the energy of my being that's based on my integrity and loyalty has empowered me to act in certain situations. Do you see the point I'm making? So you people gotta know the power of the mind is awesome. And not the power of the mind in the sense that that's based on what you are, the power of the mind is awesome. If you have a mind where I'm not going down, many of the greatest soldiers, greatest trained soldiers have went down, and they're physically powerful, more powerful than the average person. And they have died in situations where the average person would die in. And the average person has surpassed them. You see the point I'm making? Because of their mindset. So don't get me wrong, you have to have the physical vitality and energy, and we should be trained in stamina. But if your mind ain't right, you already went down.
Yes.
If your mind has been defeated, you are already defeated. So I went out to the car. This cracker said, no, I didn't call her a bitch. She called me a bitch. And I saw it with my own eyes. So I wasn't asking him that because I wanted his opinion on what happened. So I asked him. He said, no, I didn't call her a bitch. I would never do that. I said, okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't hear you say that. I walked off and left. When he and his partner came back and they got in their car, they drove off. They said, God bless you guys. You guys want him? Is he with you? The dude that they was arrested. They was going to let him go. We said, we don't know what that brother's doing.
Yes, sir.
So we're not going to get involved in that.
Uh-huh.
That's between you and him. Satan can deal with Satan. We're not going to attach our integrity to somebody who ain't about nation building. That's not going to happen. So y'all got to work that out. When y'all whoop his ass enough, he'll get back on that. He'll understand what nationalism is. Because that's how most of us got to nationalism and black supremacy. We had our ass whooped so much, we're like, you know what? Forget this. It got to be something else. So they drove off. So my point is that once you really stand on something, it's not intellectual anymore. There's some things that are intellectual. Intellectual is the rocket launcher. But once you establish your premise, you're in space now. Do you see the point I'm making? So it's not intellectual at a certain point, because when you get in certain situations, your reaction will not be intellectual. It will be emotional. Emotions first. If somebody swing on you, you're not thinking intellectually. You follow what I'm making? But I'm just saying, that mechanism is not working just when something negative happens. That mechanism is working all the time.
Yes, sir.
So the reason we're not impacting our community to change is because we're not standing on it within ourselves. Y'all hear the point I'm making? We're not standing on it. So it's going to be hard for us to change our community if we can't stand on that premise. If we're not solid in that position. So it requires us to become more solid. If we want to see a change, we have to become more solid. The reason I'm having these meetings and having these talks now is because I've become more solid about nationalism. 10 years ago, I couldn't have had these meetings. I couldn't be standing up here talking to you all about this because I had not evolved to a state where I was 100% solid. So the best thing that I can do is to spread that solid state to other people. Do you follow what I'm making? It's not, and that's the best thing you all can do. From that solid position. Strength after strength after strength after strength. Do you see the point I'm making?
Yes, sir.
That's the best thing that we can do. We can't go out and save them, but we can save ourselves to a degree that we can pull other people up with the strength that we have. So we have to become more solid. That's the highest call of a nationalist. That's the highest call of black empowerment and black supremacy, is for the individual to become more solid. Not to readily go out and help people, because you can't help people until you're first solid about helping them. Do you understand what I'm making?
Yes, sir.
So in order to be a humanitarianist, you have to be a solid human being. Because humans will break you down quickly.
Yeah.
You get around people and you're not solid, you'll be like, I don't even know what I'm talking about. You're right. Give me some crack too. Let me get some alcohol. I should drink that? Yeah, let me get some pork too. While you at it. I ain't had none in a long time. You say salty is good for you? So that's my point. If we're not solid, we're not ready to deal in the arena of the people. So we got to start asking ourselves, how can we become more solid? How can we become more on point? How can we sacrifice white supremacy in our minds, thoughts, and actions every day? How can we make sacrifices? You know when you got to sacrifice? When you say, well, I can use this money to help the people, I can go buy me a combo. I can get me a bag of rice, or I can go get me some Chinese food. That's a nationalistic decision. You see the point I'm making? People don't realize it's nationalistic decisions every day going on in your life. Man, I could wear the clothes I already got and save my money. Or I could buy me out. That's a nationalistic decision. I can eat what I got in the refrigerator. Or I can go out and buy fast food. That's a nationalistic decision. They go on and on. They go on and on. I can, go back and get me a job. Or I can see how I can generate resources to sustain myself helping the people. Nationalistic decision. I can go to European school, or I can study the black information and study and get more knowledge about our people. That's a nationalistic decision. Now, who can help you make nationalistic decisions? Can somebody else? No, not just any people. If I go and ask my mama, listen, should I get me a job, or should I go out there and help the people with all my time and energy? What my mother gonna say?
Yeah, you can get a job.
There you go. You can't ask a person who is not nationalistic a nationalistic question and expect a nationalistic answer. No belittling of those people. But it's a reality. You can't go ask an obese person how to lose weight. They might give you some good recipes, but they're not going to give you no diet plan. You feel what I mean? So my point is, if we want to become more nationalists, we have to become closer to more nationalistic people. We have to create a community and get more closer to people who are about nationalism. If we're hanging around people that's not nationalistic, things can go two ways. You either going to turn them into nationalists or you're going to go back to white supremacy. This is a reality. If you're hanging around people that eat meat, either you're going to turn them into vegetarians or eventually you're going to start back eating meat. It's always that type of dynamic going on. Because everything that somebody else is doing is forcing you to make a decision and look at life. If you eat meat and you're around somebody eating vegetables all day, they're forcing you to be health conscious. So you telling them, damn, you being too health conscious, man. Cut some of that shit out, get you some fucking meat. Right? Because that's the dynamic that it's producing. So if you just keep hanging around people that are not about nationalism and nation building, you either gonna make them become nationalists, or you gonna, this is reality. There's no middle way. It's either black or white, light or dark.
Yes, sir.
It's either one way or the other. So if you're hanging around people who are not nationalists and you're not talking to them about nationalism, you're becoming less of a nationalist. If you're associating with them, you should be talking to them about nationalism. Matter of fact, you won't even be able to help talking about it. That's all on your mind. That's all that's on your mind. But if you're around them and you find yourself listening to them, talking about, oh yeah, I'm just going to get this new car, and I'm going to buy this, and I was going to get this. Yeah, man, I can't wait till I get that. And you're like, yeah, that's interesting. You're going to do that? I think that's a good idea, blah, blah. Now you're just listening. You're supporting them with your ear. You're giving your nationalistic ear to them. Y'all not hearing me. You're supporting that dialogue. Yeah, brother, you should probably go ahead. And sometimes you're around people, you're scared to tell them the truth. You're scared to come out and tell them, like, look, wait a minute now, wait. Some people, ask anybody to hang around me, when we go out, I end up debating with people. I will debate with them on the smallest things. Literally. And stay on it. And I will stay on the debate. They'll be like, well, brother, I was thinking about, man, I'm about to go back to school. You going back to school? And they said, well, whatever, brother. When we get past that, then they'll say something else. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to get a hamburger. You get a hamburger? And then we get off there and say, I'm going off there and I'm thinking about, man, I'm going to go buy me some Nikes. You getting some Nikes? On everything. Talk about Christianity, and then it's like you're talking to me about Christianity. I'm going to debate with you. I'm not going to let that ride. If you won't hang around me. I'm not going to come looking for you to impose my doctrine and religion on you, but if you talk to me about it, I'm going to tell you about it. Whatever it is, you're going to get the truth from me. You're going to say you heard it from me. I'm not going to entertain nobody and not give them what I know to be true. Especially if they're talking to me about it, I'm like, you must want to hear what I got to say. Because you can go talk to your pastor about that. Wait a minute, you sure you don't want to be talking to your pastor about this? You know who you're talking to, right? About this. Because I'm about to let it on. It's coming now. Come on. You talking about an evil God that destroyed people? That he could have simply blinked his eyes and changed them into something else? He'd rather just be sadistic and create people just to destroy them to prove how powerful a God he is? Tell me nothing about no Christianity. no logical, wise, intelligent person